Hey y'all, it's your girl Claudia Jordan, and we are back with TGIF. We're here to spill the tea and break down the biggest headlines in the news and on social media. So sit back, relax, and get ready to sip this hot tea. Please welcome Al Reynolds. Hello, Al.
Hey, what's going on, Claudia?
You good?
I am good.
All right, and please welcome Armand Wiggins. Hello, Armand.
Hey, everybody. What's going on?
All right, let's get to it. Let me ask you, y'all got any plans? It's just Friday. Any big plans this weekend? Al, what are your plans this weekend?
Absolutely. I'm going to Detroit. I'll be visiting our sister station there and promoting TGIF. And I'm also going to the Black Media Conference over the weekend, and they have some great performances, including Diana Ross. So hopefully I'll have some pictures to share with the soulmates when I get back on Monday.
All right, Armand, how about you?
Yeah, for me, it's going to be more of a relaxed weekend. I think I'm going to go clean my studio, clean my apartment, maybe go to the movies. But for the most part, I'm recouping. I'm getting some rest and I'm chilling. I'm going to have a real good inside weekend.
All right. I'm not doing much this weekend around the house, probably do some like renovation stuff. But Monday, I will be at the White House. I got invited by the White House. This is my second year going for their Juneteenth celebration. Lots of huge performances, John Legend and a bunch. I will definitely be having my pictures on here on Tuesday if I can. All right, y'all. Before we break down your favorite topics, we are celebrating Black Music Month by honoring our favorite music genre in our Tea Happy Hour. All right, gentlemen, tonight's choice of beverage is Crown Royal. Al, how are you celebrating Black Music Month with your Crown Royal?
Yes, Claudia. So listen, my Crown Royal drink is called Crown Royals R&B Raspberry Collins. R&B Raspberry, get it? All right, so this is what's in it. You get 1 1/4 ounce of Crown Royal Deluxe. You get a 1/2 ounce of ginger liqueur. You get 3/4 ounce of fresh lemon juice and 1/4 ounce of simple syrup. Add 2 ounces of club soda and 4 raspberries. Now, I put more than 4 because, you know, I like eating the raspberries out of my drink. And don't forget a lemon twist garnish on the top. So it looks like this. You see those raspberries, just absolutely delicious.
All right. Very nice. Armand, how are you paying homage to your favorite music genre during Black History Month?
Well, for me, my favorite music genre is called R&B. And so we're taking it back to the good R&B nights, all right, where we go down under. And so I'm celebrating with 1.5 ounces of Crown Royal Regal Apple, 1 ounce of lemon juice, and 0.5 ounces of grenadine. And here we are.
Oh, it's smoking.
Yes, like our R&B nights.
Okay, very nice. All right, look at the creativity from the fellas today. All right, I'm celebrating Black Music Month with my soulful beverage, Crowned Black Excellence. My ingredients are 1.5 ounces of Crown Royal Deluxe, 3 ounces of ginger ale, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, 1 teaspoon of brown sugar, and I garnish it with strawberry. It's supposed to have mint leaves. I couldn't find my mint leaves, but you put your mint leaves on the drink. Let me take a sip of this. It's very sweet. It's like a dessert plus a drink. So, all right, soulmates, we like for you to join in on the fun, but make sure you drink responsibly. Fellas, let's cheers to Black Music Month and to an amazing show. Cheers, fellas.
Hey.
Cheers.
All right, let's get on with the show. Now that we've made our toast, the cast of Sister Act 2 reunited after 30 years to perform their soulful rendition of Oh Happy Day and Joyful on The View. Now, Whoopi Goldberg got emotional during the reunion and stated, worldwide, it doesn't matter how old you are the age of those kids when you see the movie. Were you guys excited to see the cast reunite? And are you a bit devastated that Lauryn Hill missed out? She's probably late. Al, what do you think?
Yes. Let me tell you, I was super excited. This is my childhood, right? This is when I knew that Lauryn Hill honestly was going to cross over to mainstream and she was going to be a huge star. She was wonderful in this show. And I'm glad that, you know, Whoopi has done the remake. And I'm sad to see that Lauryn Hill didn't make it. But listen, Claudia, Armand, I'm also sad that Shirley Ralph wasn't a part of the remix. So those two I always had in my mind and watched their careers just blossom after this show. So not only am I wondering where Lauryn Hill is or why she wasn't a part, but I'm also wondering why Shirley Ralph wasn't as well.
All right, Armand, what do you think about this?
I think that the live show was great. It brought some back, like it brought back nostalgia for me. I remember watching it with my grandmother and my auntie. So it was a real feel good moment for me. For that split second, I did look for Lauryn Hill. She wasn't there, but then I quickly got over it, because I don't think during that song particularly, that really wasn't the moment. The moment for me was to see if he was going to hit that high note like he did as a kid. So that's what I was waiting for. And it was a really good show and it was a good performance. And I enjoyed it. And I just went back and rewatched the clips of the original on Twitter, and a lot of people loved it. And I don't think a lot of people even cared that Lauryn wasn't there.
I don't know what's going on, Lauren. I just hate that she misses like these big moments, and I don't know if it's for her lateness or she had something going on or whatever. Because I think she's just such a huge part of this. But you know what? Good for Whoopi Goldberg. Seems like she's having an amazing year. Actually, an amazing cap on an amazing career. You know what I mean? Like she's getting her flowers. She's being celebrated. She's doing her thing on The View, and then this. I love these things that she's getting in her honor, and I'm here for it. Whoopi, we salute you here at Fox Soul, and we will always have your back. All right, a former protege of popular music producer The Dream filed a lawsuit and accused the hitmaker of sexual assault, rape, and sex trafficking. The artist mentioned in the lawsuit that he manipulated her and promised that she would be the next Beyonce and Rihanna, but in order to do so, she would have to share intimate and embarrassing details and allow him to have complete control over her. What are your thoughts on this new lawsuit, Armand?
Here's the thing. Y'all probably not gonna like this, but I seen a comment and someone said, "Can we normalize when?" It just feels scary sometimes, guys, because it just feels like now the floodgates are open, so now everybody's coming out with a lawsuit. I'm not saying that it didn't happen, but it just feels like, can we start to do these things when it happens, or just not wait for everyone else to come out with their lawsuits for you to jump on the bandwagon? Because on one end, it may be true, but then on the other end, it comes like, well, is there some agenda to end hip hop or get rid of every powerful man in hip hop culture? Like, it's scary. It's like, get in line and take a ticket because you will be next. So I'm a little uncomfortable. I'm not here celebrating any of this. If it happened, justice should be served. But if not, like, can we please stop this? And guys with power, men with money and influence, like, do not abuse your power with these women. Do not make false promises, because the day you stop paying, the day that promise does not go fulfilled, you will be exposed and hit with a lawsuit. So don't get ahead of yourself, guys. That's my thought.
All right, Al, what are your thoughts on this?
Woo, that was a tough one. Armand, I agree with you. Guys, stop. Under no circumstances is it okay for men to sexually assault or rape or do any of that to a woman and expect her not to tell, and she can tell it when she wants to tell it and when she feels comfortable. I think Cassie has opened up the floodgates to give women the empowerment to share these stories, and unfortunately, this industry is just reeking with these types of stories because it's been going on. Celebrate and live in your truth, young lady, and you will get our support in the legal system and outside until otherwise it's proven. What's so interesting about this case to me, though, is Cassie's lawyer has taken on this case. And as we know, Cassie's lawyer does not take any of these cases that there's not ample evidence, and in cases that he thinks he's not going to win. I can't wait to see how this settles out. And shame on you, Dream, for using Beyonce and Rihanna to get some coochie.
So
I said it.
It's unfortunate that the industry is flooded with so many predators that that there's never a shortage of cases. It's every single week that we're talking about a case like this, and I think that this is just the tip of the iceberg. I think that for the most part and for the longest time, people were just getting away with it, and there was a fear: if I speak up, I'm never going to have a career. I'm going to be blacklisted. No one's going to rock with me. So people just hid in the shadows and dealt with it. I mean, my friend circle, we talk about this all the time. No one in my friend circle has ever reported any of the rape or allegations that they have against men, and they are just living their lives and just moved on. But I think with all these other cases, it's giving people that never had the courage to do it or were too scared before. There's some kind of comfort and safety in numbers where you're like, you know what? It's like double dutch. Okay, now's the time. Yeah, I know I'm going to get criticism. I know people are going to say I'm a liar, and why did I wait so long? I understand that, Armand. I understand how that looks. But I will say from a victim's point of view, I never reported my guy. and that did it to me. He's not my guy, but my assailant. And I probably never will, because I never felt comfortable and I always felt scared. And unfortunately, I found out later on, like, he victimized about 7 of my other people that I know. So I just feel like when this happens, let's look more at the predators than the victims, because it's really hard to come forward. And I'm 51 and I still don't want to. It's really hard to tell. It's really hard to go up against a machine and against established and wealthy men that have fans, because people are going to drag you either way. Now, does that leave the door open for people to lie and jump on the bandwagon? Yes. But I will tell you, it's so hard to get money out of this, even when you have a legitimate case. I know a girl that was raped by Mike Tyson. Okay. And that's not alleged, that he went to prison for it. And the money, you would be disgusted at what she ended up getting out of it. Really was really next to nothing except a lot of harassment. But Dream, we shall see. We will keep our foot on your neck if you're guilty, that's for sure. All right, Dr. Phil is fed up with the outcome of Donald Trump's conviction, and he's calling for President Biden to dismiss the case. Dr. Phil stated the current administration could and should do the right thing, dismiss now, even now, post-conviction, a political opponent, all such lawfare, and pledge to return to normal functioning of a government rightfully run. Dr. Phil proceeded to slam the conviction and mentioned that it's a weaponization of our great institutions. What are your thoughts on his remarks, Al? What do you think about this?
You know what? Oprah Winfrey people, hear me loud and clear. This is your fault. You made this man popular. You made this man famous. You made this man a talking head for the rest of the Americans. And let me tell you something. Somebody needs to go and check and see if he still have his license, because I can't imagine that a therapist, a psychologist, or psychiatrist, whichever one he is, can still have a license and support the behavior of a habitual liar. Okay? It's unwavering. CNN, AP News have fact-checked every single time this man does a town hall, every time he speaks to the public. It's noted and documented that thousands and thousands of times he has lied to the American people. That's considered a habitual liar. For a psychologist at your level, psychiatrist at your level, if you're a psychiatrist, to support a habitual liar who demonstrates these type of behaviors, I need your license checked. And I'm going to write to the board to see if it's active or not. I've had enough of this crap. And for you to use your platform to do this, shame on you, Dr. Phil.
All right, Armand.
Yes, I feel empowered. Black power on power. Go, Al. That's what I'm talking about. No, but honestly, this screams white privilege, white power set him free. Like, at the end of the day, he was convicted. The jury all voted. So why should this be overruled? Why? Like, I just feel like that's him. What he's Donald Trump. He's rich. He's white. He's powerful. He should be able to get away with it. And that's just not fair. That's not right. And Dr. Phil, this is not a good look for you. Like, it feels racist to me.
And you're a psychologist. How dare you support a criminal?
Well, he got his doctorate in clinical psychology, but he has not renewed his license to practice.
Well, I see why. Ever since 2006. So you're a doctor that plays one on TV. That's who you are. Dr. Phil, I've been on your show before. You gave me the creeps then, and you give me the creeps now. This is what I got to say about you. How dare you take the side of, once again, of the predator and not the victim, when you're supposed to be the one that is more empathetic to the victims of these crimes. Now the documents case, you could say, okay, victimless crime, but you know this man has been found liable in rape cases, sexual assault, and all these other kinds of crimes. And here you are, once again, another rich white man on the taint of another rich white man. It's, at this point, is given the human centipede, how these Republicans are just lining up behind, just dying to put their face in the booty of Donald Trump and just pay homage to this man and worship this man. That's what y'all are doing right now. Dr. Phil, you've lost credibility a long time ago, but it just gets even worse. It's even worse. And yeah, you will be eating those words because you look ridiculous. All right, coming up next, Shirley Strawberry's husband's indictment. And later, Jazelle Bryant continues to address colorist claims. Keep it locked. We'll be back.
Freedom. It's at the core of who we are. The freedom to live without fear, to jog where we please, to wear a hoodie. The freedom to breathe. Before we celebrate the freedom most Americans have, we must fight for the freedom all Americans deserve. Because all lives can't matter until Black lives matter.
We are chopping it up with the host of Marriage Bootcamp, Dr. Ish Major. Welcome to the show.
TGIF.
When you and I sit down and have a heart-to-heart with no phones, no distraction, am I your person? That's the question.
Every weekday.
Kelly says, I love Ish on my screen. Is he single, asking for a friend?
Join the chat.
I am single, Kelly. Who's the friend?
Kelly, who's the friend? Please comment back.
On Fox Soul.
This one's for the real ballers and shot callers. The sisterhood of women in tech. They're discovering cures, building apps, and programming the blockchain. They're CEOs, worldwide hustlers who can make it rain. They're tearing down the old boys club and seeing big gains. Because when women in tech come together, you know they make that change.
My mom wanted my life to be better than what she had as a kid. When I became a mom myself, I feel like my whole world changed. You don't have to be a climate scientist to want to protect the earth. And you always want the next generation to have something better than what you had.
Welcome back to TGIF. Happy Friday. If you're enjoying the show, go ahead and put some, if this is a cold show, put some snowflakes in the chat, some snow, because we cold in the summertime. We cold as that. How about that? Radio personality Shirley Strawberry's husband, Ernest Williams, is back in the hot seat after he was indicted on 39 RICO charges. Fulton County District Attorney Fannie Willis stated he's been conning people from 2009 to 2022. He would pretend to be a legitimate businessman, but he was stealing from people in United States currency, vehicles, and really just taking advantage of people. What are your thoughts? And for the record, Armand, this is before you got here, but they've definitely discussed TGIF on those prison calls because we were talking about them. So shout out to Ernest and Strawberry if you're watching right now. Al, what do you think about this?
Hey, Ernest, how you doing? You know what's so interesting about this? He better be glad that that's all that Fannie, is it Fannie, right? Could accuse him of, because there were many on the docket that he wasn't, that he got away with. But the funny part to me here is, all right, she has a job. She just signed a contract for $5 million to work over there at Steve Harvey. Is she not giving the man any money? Aren't they married? Haven't they been together for years? $5 million to work with Steve Harvey. He has no reason to be out here stealing money from these other women, stealing cars, falsifying documents. What in the world is going on in that household? If my significant other was making $5 million, why the heck would I resort to fraud and stealing money from other people? It's not adding up. The math ain't mathing.
Yeah, it happens. Like people just get greedy. Like it's not enough. I guess. I don't know. Mom, what you think about this?
Well, let's add to that. To me, it kind of feels like he was using her to, solicit other victims. That's according to the article. And I feel like maybe she hopefully caught wind of that and was like, hey, you're not getting no money from me because you're not going to drain me dry. But my thing is this, women, y'all need to start doing more research on these men, especially you wealthy women. And you guys got to have some more self-esteem about yourself, because y'all be attracting these men that just want the money and the clout, baby. And they end up embarrassing you in front of the world. And men, you got to start having some kahunas of your own and stop trying to attach yourself to these women and try to use them as a cash cow. It's not right. But women, you got to have some more oomph and oomph about yourself and not be so thirsty for a marriage.
I do think that happens a lot. And I'm like, from the outside looking at it, we can all see it like, come on, lady, like, come on. And he's clearly using her for access to the lifestyle, to the money. Because who was this guy before he got with her? I had no idea who that was. And now we know who he is. And we talk about him more than we talk about her. And he definitely conned her. And I think there's a lot of that out there in these streets.
Is she divorcing him? Did you say they're divorcing?
Yeah, they've been separated, I think, since 2022. But I think she filed for divorce in April, allegedly.
Okay. Kalina Harper from the group Diddy, Dirty Money is speaking out in support of the music mogul. Kina stated that Diddy's other artists are suffering from disgruntled employee syndrome and blaming everyone but themselves for their failed careers. She also added he was cool as bleep. What are your thoughts on Kina supporting Diddy? Go ahead, Armand. Go to you.
Where is she now? You know, see, my thing is this: if I'm Diddy, that is the last person I need to come speak out for me. She has no pull. When's the last time we've heard a record from her? When's the last time we've seen her until now? This does nothing. Okay, she was the one that didn't make it. So her coming out and speaking for Diddy is like a roach coming out and saying, hello, we don't want it. We don't want to see it. We don't care. So this does nothing for him or her, and this makes her look stupid, and she will never have a career after this as if she was going to have one before, but it's furthermore down the drain. So at the end of the day, we don't care. This holds no merit. This has no value. And if I'm Diddy, I want her to say nothing because it's not helping my case.
He just went in. Okay. Al, what do you think?
Hey, if you thought that was going there, you wait till I go in. Kina, beat it. And when I say beat it, beat it. Okay. How dare you? This is weird. It's gross. It's offensive if I was a black woman.
Go up, Al. Go ahead.
It's everything all rolled up in one. How dare you, as a black woman, support someone who treats black women the way that he does? All these allegations, all these druggings, all of these alleged rapings. Young lady, you're on the wrong side of the fence. You need to crawl back over if you want any type of a career moving forward. As a black woman that watched that video of what he did to Cassie and you feel okay supporting him, you're not invited to my cookout. Sorry, miss. Next.
And you know, I'll be having them cookouts now. All right, listen. It's giving pick me vibes, right? You know, there's always one that wants to go against the grain and be like, oh, I just be different just to be different, be contrarian, you know, just to get the attention because everybody else is going this way. So I'm going to go that way. I'm going to go swim upstream instead of swimming downstream. Lady, sometimes, you know, right is right and wrong is wrong. Now, he may have been cool as F to you because he wasn't attracted to you, or maybe he didn't try to get with you or try to drug you. So it's easy to be like, yeah, I was the homegirl. And if you did have that experience, like there's people that I've seen people be involved in allegations and cases that I have personally met, you know, and we got to stop this. People that are around folks for a few minutes and that's my friend, I know them, blah, blah, blah. No, I don't know how deep y'all's friendship was, because if you were deep with him, you would know the kind of person he is. And if you weren't deep with him, shut up, and don't try to dismiss or diminish the claims of women that have come forward and kind of put some doubt out there. Just keep quiet about it. You don't have to say anything. Has anyone been dying to say, hey, what's Kina know? What's her opinion on this? We got to get Kina's quote.
But in all fairness, I'll just say she also said that, you know, during the time when she was with Diddy, this was the best and greatest time of her life. So you got to think she hasn't really had any other moments. So she's, you know, that's what made her a superstar, being a part of Dirty Money, Danny Kane, you know, not Danny Kane, Dirty Money. So I mean,
superstar?
Not a superstar, but it gave her a little clout and she got to see a little bit of the life. So perhaps she's like, you know what? I didn't see it. So I had fun during those days. Maybe she wanted to get drugged and high.
Allegedly.
I mean, you had Young Miami willing to get pissed on for a podcast.
Not a podcast, allegedly.
Not pissed on.
No, she said it and she got a podcast.
And she got pissed on.
Absolutely.
But was it from him or she said she just likes it in general?
She said it was him. He peed on her. You know, they would
Nothing wrong with a golden shower.
They would go off the grid and, you know, she got her podcast. Remember, it was one podcast in a year.
Al likes the golden showers now.
I ain't gonna lie.
She probably want to wait in line for her white fingernails and her white toenails to get, you know, peed on next.
What's wrong with white fingernails?
Oh.
Okay, let's move on. Hey, no Diddy, coincidence. Okay, let's get into this crazy story. A Florida woman recently became a victim of luggage theft after her personal belongings were tracked to the home of an airport employee. Paola Garcia explained that she was forced to check in her bag at boarding, but it never arrived to her destination until her Apple Watch began pinging a location to another watch she had at home from a different location near the airport. Paola decided to drive herself to the address, and that's when she discovered it was at the home of one of the airport employees. This is so ghetto. Can you guys believe this story? Armand, what you think?
That sounds ratchet, but I would be pissed if you took my luggage. I mean, you can't trust anybody these days. I've never heard of something like this. To me, so I would be upset, and they would have to give me new luggage, and I would probably sue.
Okay, Al.
Baby, I came on here prepared to lay that airline out because the way these prices are going up, the way these seats are small, the way I only get peanuts or pretzels on the flight, and with all this, I was like, no way should they be losing my luggage. But then I thought about this thing. I said to myself, why is she going to get her luggage from where it was pinged at? What was in the luggage? So that's where I'm leaning my conversation on. That employee saw what was in that luggage. Something was in that luggage. I can't tell you what it was, but it was probably good. And he was like, this one I'm taking home. And she was so concerned about what was in that luggage that was good that she took it upon herself to drive to the location of the ping. We need to do an investigation, Claudia and Armand. We need to know what's in the luggage. We the people deserve to know if we're going to cover it right here on this show.
Well, the case has already been solved out because it was her Apple Watch and her laptop, and she needed it for her exams the next day. So I know I would freak out. If I lost my computer, I wouldn't be able to do TGIF with you fantastic souls every single day. So it was her computer. And can you imagine how terrified you'd be if you lost your computer? Like, I'm not even about to ask y'all what's on y'all's computers, but I would be enough for it. But I would be scared to go by myself, though.
But how broken do you need to be to steal somebody's computer at TSA or at
I can imagine that they see tons of computers.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
tons of Apple Watches too. I don't think we're getting the whole tea right here, Claudia, because I know tons of Apple computers. I always put mine underneath my Apple because it's too heavy to carry. I think something else is going on here, and I'm sticking to it.
Well, I hate to say it, but it was Spirit Airlines.
Oh, okay, that's what it was.
We just got confirmation. I like to call Spirit break your Spirit Airlines because they always break your heart every time you fly in that flight.
Well, she should be charged for being stupid for putting it underneath the airplane. It's Spirit Airlines. You're supposed to carry all your valuables with you above board.
Well, they did force her. She was planning on checking the bag, taking the bag with her on the airplane, but Spirit sometimes, and they force her to check it in on boarding. So they're saying it kind of sounds like a setup. Like, oh, you can't bring that carry-on on. You didn't pay the $80 for your carry-on. All right, we got to go. Coming up next, Jazelle Bryant speaks out against colorism claims. And later we are catching up with your favorite celebs in Where Are They Now? Stay tuned.
My mother was always very familiar with her neighborhood, but one day she stopped at the stop sign for much longer than usual. And she didn't know whether she should go forward or turn, and she wasn't even really sure where she was at. It was very unsettling for her.
I felt so much better after my son told me, Mom, I don't want you to worry or be afraid. I'll be there for you, and we'll figure it out.
We are chopping it up with the host of Marriage Boot Camp, Dr. Ish Major. Welcome to the show.
TGIF.
When you and I sit down and have a heart-to-heart with no phones, no distraction, am I your person? That's the question.
Every weekday.
Kelly says, I love Ish on my screen. Is he single? Asking for a friend.
Join the chat.
I am single, Kelly. Who's a friend?
Kelly, who's the friend? Please comment back.
On Fox Soul.
This one's for the real ballers and shot callers, the sisterhood of women in tech. They're discovering cures, building apps, and programming the blockchain. They're CEOs, worldwide hustlers who can make it rain. They're tearing down the old boys club and seeing big gains. Because when women in tech come together, you know they make that change.
There was a time in my life where I was extremely homesick. I decided that I needed a pet. When I first saw a turtle, my heart was full. He jumped up and kissed me and jumped right into my arms. I immediately went up to the volunteers at the shelter and said, I want him. He's gotta come home with me. Not anything but lonely. Every day with Turtle is a perfect day.
Welcome back to the show. All right, Jazelle Bryant is speaking out against claims that she is a colorist. Take a look.
I think it's extremely unfortunate. I mean, am I a colorist? Absolutely not. And my life speaks to that. I'm raising brown girls. It's hurtful to them for people to say that about their mother. But, I can just live my life.
All right, now one person replied to the interview and said she graduated from an HBCU, joined a Black sorority, was married to a Black man, and kids are going to go to HBCUs. Her father fought for Black rights. Y'all need to stop. Why do you think Gizelle keeps facing these allegations? Al, what do you think?
I think it's simple and it's easy. It's a part of her storyline. And unfortunately, this is a part of reality television. This is what made her very famous or popular on that show in those fights between the color divides. And she was siding with she was against some of the darker women on the show, but that does not make her a colorist. And I don't believe that she's a colorist. However, I do believe it's entrenched in her storyline. And once that storyline gets heat, it's like adding gasoline to it. It's just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And the producers are going to focus on any tension between her and any castmate of a darker hue. So in my opinion, I don't think she's a colorist. However, on the show, I think she definitely 110% is perceived and portrayed and produced as a colorist.
All right. Thanks for that. Armand, what do you think?
And I agree with Al 100%. And I also feel like once you get that storyline, unfortunately, then you get to the comments and social media. And when you're a lighter skinned woman, like all of the other Black women and darker skinned women, they're going to lean into that. People are going to keep pushing that narrative because everybody is so outraged now with colorism and the topic of colorism. So it's very easy to get labeled with that, especially if you look like you're privileged and you're going back and forth with a darker skinned woman. And it's a mess. And you have one dark skinned woman say you make them feel uncomfortable. You're coming off as a colorist. Everybody's going to jump on board because all of a sudden now she becomes the victim and you become the colorist. However, to say I'm raising brown girls felt a little colorist for me. I mean, if you could just, I get it. They're not Black, they're brown, but it was the kind of verbiage. You could have just simply said, hey, I'm raising Black girls now. What makes me colorist? But to meticulously say brown girls, for me, that was the rub for me in Al's words was a little off. That was the rub for me.
Okay. I have a friend that is a lighter skinned woman, and her child is really brown skinned, and she gets questioned all the time about if she's really her mother. She's been accused of that as well. And she does mention the skin color of her daughter only as a defense. Like, listen, if anyone loves my brown, beautiful Black girl, it's me. And there's no hate there. I do hate that people like to generalize things, right? Like if you have an argument with an individual that happens to be dark skinned, light skinned, gay, straight, trans, whatever, you become an anti that. You're an ism, you're a phobia. No, sometimes you don't rock with that individual or a couple people. That doesn't mean that is a indictment against that entire demographic. And I think that's wrong. And I think it's actually lazy. Now, if you have a pattern of continuously abusing people based on that issue, based on their color, their sexuality, then we can have a conversation. But I think it's really dangerous when you have an argument with someone and they happen to be brown or they happen to be light and you're like, you're a colorist, you don't like dark skin, or you don't like light skin. It's like, it's very lazy when we could just look at individuals' behavior and go on a case-by-case basis, I think. But I do think it's easy. It's got Gizelle and Robin on one side, and then them together, it's giving, oh, those are the light-skinned mean girls. But
let me ask you this. What is the problem with Black? Why are we trying to change our color from Black to brown? You get what I'm, that's for me, like, I'm happy saying I'm Black. You know what I mean? But I feel like we're trying to find this nextness to lighter skin. So it's like brown is lighter than Black. So we can be brown because Black is considered ugly. I don't know. It just feels weird to me to say brown.
I get the opposite. I get told I can't say Black because I have a white parent from Italy, from Southern Italy, that got a little Black blood in her. And I think we need to stop doing this to ourselves. This is something that's an internal problem. We can go ahead and blame some of it on the white man and Jim Crow and all that, how they kind of deprogrammed us to resent ourselves. But at this point, we have enough education to start to unravel what we have done or what has been done to us. I think we got to stop dividing ourselves. We are Black people, and we should be as one, not just doing purity tests. Well, you're not Black enough, or you're too this, or you're too that. Like, stop that. We should be one group from all. Black people can produce all spectrums of the rainbow when it comes to offspring, right? All from the lightest light to the darkest dark. We should be more as one, I think. All right. All right, starting next month, a new Louisiana law will allow anyone who is 18 or older to possess a firearm without a permit. Oh, how could that go wrong? Now, according to U.S. News, Louisiana is number 2 on the list of most dangerous states in America. Do you think this is a smart decision? Al, what do you think?
Oh, absolutely not. It's not a smart decision. Gun violence is also the number one cause of death in that state. I don't know what the answer is here. I think I just don't see how legislation can look at the statistics, look at the analysis done throughout that state and feel that this is okay. And we also know that this younger generation has a huge issue with conflict resolution. They pull guns before they pull out conversation in order to settle something. So what exactly are you promoting with this type of legislation? To me, it's creating an unsafe environment for all involved, and it's something that they need to reconsider.
Okay, Armand, what do you think?
I wish I knew the statistics on like the black men ratio in Louisiana, because to me, this is just a setup for us to kill ourselves. They're trying to get rid of black people, clearly, whether we do it to ourselves or whether the police have an excuse to be afraid and kill us, you know? So at the end of the day, this is just another way to erase black people, period. They're trying to get us out of here, and they want us to do it to ourselves.
I don't disagree with both of y'all. Louisiana, Mississippi, I'll keep bringing those two up because they stay at the bottom two of all statistics that are negative. They stay on the most obese, the least healthy, the most dangerous. And here you are, you want to throw a little gasoline on the fire and just say, hey, guns for everyone. You know, they're already making it where you can't get bail in Louisiana. They're doing all kinds of stuff that's specifically to target Black Americans in the state of Louisiana. Their governor is complete trash and very much KKK adjacent, in my opinion. Okay. Some of his talking points. And in the last election, only 30% of the eligible voters came out to vote. I spent a month in Louisiana for College Hill, and we got to really get into these kind of things. It was very depressing. And I did a whole thing on voter registration. And it was so sad how many people are not participating. But when you don't participate, this is what you get. No one should be okay with an unstable, emotional 18-year-old getting a gun with no permit, because we have adults that aren't stable enough to have guns. And this country has a serious issue with, I don't know why they just allow the floodgates to be open, especially in these Black states. Huge population of Black people in Louisiana. It's right next door to me here in Texas. Very, very Black. And yes, I do think they want us to take each other out. And also the white boys that have the guns be like, oh, I was nervous. Stand your ground. These violent Negroes was coming from my property. You want to where everyone has guns? Okay, good luck with that. All right. A comedian in Spain was punched in the face by a father who claims that he made a provocative comment about his son a couple days before his set. Apparently, the father posted a photo of his 3-month-old son, and the comedian replied, nothing and no one can prevent the possibility that he is gay. And when he grows up, he gets tired of sucking a black bleep. All right, y'all. How do y'all feel about this? And can you blame the father for taking these measures? Amon, what do you think about this?
Absolutely not. Now, it'd been one thing if he kind of made the joke on stage as a stand-up, but you posted that on Twitter. So you just came unwarranted. So that man showed up to your show and gave you the news. Like, he gave you the business. And I feel like rightfully so, that I'm not mad at that father at all. You don't go and make some kind of weird, kinky, comment like that about somebody's kid. And then what is the black bleep for? I don't know. I'm glad he just got the work, because that was unnecessary and it wasn't funny. Very
And a 3-month-olds?
Yeah,
really?
That's weird.
Why are you even thinking like that about a baby?
Exactly. So it goes to show you have a little kind of a perversion in your mind to even be thinking about a 3-month-old getting older and sucking on black penis. Like, what? That's just weird.
Let me add a little context here. So this is the deal. This particular guy is a known racist. He's a racist online. He's also an immigrant, and he's also extremely right-wing and anti-gay. His verbiage online is disgusting. It's beyond appropriate. So this particular comedian was giving it back the way that he normally gives it. However, I will say this. I don't care how disgusting he is, what his presence online is, whether it's right-wing, racist, immigrant, or anti-gay, you should never comment on a person's child. When you comment on a person's child, all gloves are off, and especially in the derogatory nature in which this was done. But just to give you context, the guy is disgusting. Disgusting racist.
I get it.
Right-wing,
from what he
racist.
did.
And anti-gay. So he was pushing back in a way to trigger him and to push a button, which is okay. I'm cool with that, but not in this fashion. So he got what he deserved.
I agree.
Due to the violence of the video, we can't show the video here in Fox Soul, but I'm going to say this. You know, the Republicans, the right wing, continue to show how much of hypocrites they are. You are supposedly the party of religion, the one that's more morally correct. You know, the liberals, the dirty liberals, they're all for the community. They're also gay and trans and highly sexualized. But y'all be the worst ones. I'm sorry. I hate to blanket you all, put you all into one box, but I'm putting you all in one redneck box right now. For the ones that claim to be so close and have all this proximity to the church and to Jesus and to the Lord, y'all sure have a funny way of showing it. Talking about D in a baby's mouth at 3 months old and all this kind of stuff. You got exactly what you deserve. Now, usually on the show, we have definitely talked about performers should be protected when they're on stage, but you went out above and beyond to go on Instagram and talk about a baby. You got that smoke. And maybe we need more eye for an eye. Isn't that in the Bible that y'all claim to love so much, right side?
But I think what Al was saying is the guy with the baby is the extreme racist.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, so he's the extreme racist, but and so the comedian went and kind of was trolling him, but still.
Got you.
Yeah.
Right. So the
well, go ahead and edit my whole part out of that. How about that? Let me have another sip of my drink.
I was like, what is she talking about? But I'm not gonna say
I don't know. Y'all confused me. I'm confused.
I'm not going to say anything.
All right. Well, you know what? All right.
Okay. No, it's good. We talking.
Yeah, y'all fixed it. Y'all got me
outside.
Hey, listen. I will never pretend to be perfect on the show. And sometimes I need to be gotten together and fixed and corrected. So thank you, fellas. And that's why we have each other here. All right, keep it locked because coming up next, where are they now? And later we are playing a fun game of hit or miss. Stick around.
My mother was always very familiar with her neighborhood, but one day she stopped at the stop sign for much longer than usual. And she didn't know whether she should go forward or turn, and she wasn't even really sure where she was at. It was very unsettling for her.
I felt so much better after my son told me, Mom, I don't want you to worry or be afraid. I'll be there for you, and we'll figure it out.
We are chopping it up with the host of Marriage Bootcamp, Dr. Ish Major. Welcome to the show.
TGIF.
When you and I sit down and have a heart-to-heart with no phones, no distraction, am I your person? That's the question.
Every weekday.
Kelly says, I love Ish on my screen. Is he single, asking for a friend?
Join the chat.
I am single, Kelly. Who's the friend?
Kelly, who's the friend? Please comment back.
On Fox Soul.
This one's for the real ballers and shot callers, the sisterhood of women in tech. They're discovering cures, building apps, and programming the blockchain. They're CEOs, worldwide hustlers who can make it rain. They're tearing down the old boys club and seeing big gains. Because when women in tech come together, you know they make that change.
There was a time in my life where I was extremely homesick. I decided that I needed a pet. When I first saw a turtle, my heart was full. He jumped up and kissed me and jumped right into my arms. I immediately went up to the volunteers at the shelter and said, I want him. He's gotta come home with me. Now I'm anything but lonely. Every day with turtle is a perfect day.
All right, soulmates, have you guys ever wondered what happened to your favorite child actors or those viral sensations that broke the internet at some point in time that we were all talking about? Well, gather your tea and let's take a trip back down memory lane in Fox Soul's Where Are They Now? All right, tonight's search will be devoted to a few of the cast members from the hit show Family Matters. All right, y'all, let's start with the one and only Jazelle Bryant, who played the iconic figure Steve Urkel. Well, the actor is still very busy, much so, very much booked and busy. And recently he tied the knot with tech executive Nicoletta Rule. He's also set to star in the Disney Plus series Star Wars Skeleton Crew. What are your thoughts on Jazelle's journey? And if you see him, I'm gonna tell you right now, Do not call him Urkel. He does not like that, and he gets very upset about that. Al, what do you think?
Congratulations, Jaleel. This is how child stars maintain it and develop it on into their adult lives, and they continue to do work and do it at the highest level. There's nothing that I can say about this young man turning his child stardom into being an adult standout that would be negative. Great job. My hat goes off to you, Jaleel.
All right. Armand, what do you think?
I echo that, and I think he looks great, and I just think it's really great coming from being a child star and being so famous that I'm glad he's not crazy. You know, he married his porcelain princess. He seems happy, and he's doing his thing. Now, he's never going to be able to shake the Steve Urkel, so he can get over that. You're going to be Steve Urkel for the rest of your life until the day you die. You will be Steve Urkel every single day you walk out somewhere and someone recognizes you. Did I do that? That's happening.
I hear it's really frustrating for these actors that played the heck out of their roles and then they're forever typecast as that. But I want them to like kind of take a look at it from a different perspective. Like, it's actually a testament to their good acting. Like, they sold it so well that they became iconic. And I know it's got to be frustrating because they want to move on to other acting roles and it's really hard. But I'm going to give you your credit, Jaleel White. We've never heard of you being in any scandals. You've definitely kept your nose clean. And that's really tough because it seems like a lot of child stars, now that we're learning so much now, will secretly going through so much stuff that we didn't know about. And now that we do know, it's amazing that he made it out unscathed. So we salute you. Next, we have the actress who played Steve Urkel's love interest and friend, Laura Winslow, Kelly Williams. Kelly is now a wife and mother of two who enjoys participating in a variety of charitable activities. She's also actively involved in film and television. What are your thoughts on Kelly's evolution, Armand?
I think this is a win. You know, you're married, you got your two kids, and you're still working in the business. You know, and a lot of people that start out so young don't make it this far, especially with a sound mind. So shout out to her. And I feel like this is a win across the board.
All right, Al, what do you think?
You know, this is just another story of Black excellence, and I like it. I like seeing people be very successful off of these sitcoms from way back in the day. It just is living proof that we can and do and will always be Black excellent people in film and television, and she's an example of it, as well as I would say Jamil and Urkel.
Jaleel, yes. All right. And we're going to wrap it up with Harriet and Carl Winslow, a.k.a. Jo Marie Payton and Reginald VelJohnson, who played the loving couple in Family Matters. Now, Jo Marie Payton is currently playing the role of Sugar Mama on Disney's The Proud Family, Louder and Prouder. And Reginald VelJohnson went on to star in films like Die Hard, The Formula, and 12 Dog Days Till Christmas. How do you guys feel about Jo Marie Payton and Reginald VelJohnson's journey? Armand, what do you think?
I would take any acting class for longevity from them. And I think they're great leaders and great role models. And shout out to them still working.
All right, Al, what are your thoughts?
I agree. I wish I would see more of her because I really got into her character. We see him around, but I definitely wish I would see a little bit more of her. But they've done a great job of maintaining their careers, and I too thumbs up to them. But this is the one I'm wondering about. You guys remember Judy? You remember Judy? Jamie Foxworth is her real name. She also was on this show, but she became a porn star. And the tea is, though, now she has an incredibly successful podcast, so she, too, is doing great things.
All right.
I love her. Yeah, she's a supporter of mine. I've talked to her a lot. I've interviewed her, and she's done good, and she's got out of the porn thing for sure. But yeah,
right.
she's doing great. I like her.
Shout out to the entire cast. And I do miss when we used to have, Black sitcoms showing the Black family unit, because it's really far and few in between now that we get to see a Black family on television now. All right, y'all, coming up, we are playing the music group edition of Hit or Miss. Ooh. Hit that like button. Stay tuned. We'll be right back after this commercial. We're going to have fun with this. We'll be right back.
Freedom. It's at the core of who we are. The freedom to live without fear, to jog where we please, to wear a hoodie. The freedom to breathe. Before we celebrate the freedom most Americans have, we must fight for the freedom all Americans deserve. Because all lives can't matter until Black lives matter.
We are chopping it up with the host of Marriage Bootcamp, Dr. Ish Major. Welcome to the show.
TGIF.
When you and I sit down and have a heart-to-heart with no phones, no distraction, am I your person? That's the question.
Every weekday.
Kelly says, I love Ish on my screen. Is he single, asking for a friend?
Join the chat.
I am single, Kelly. Who's a friend?
Kelly, who's the friend? Please comment back.
On Fox Soul.
This one's for the real ballers and shot callers, the sisterhood of women in tech. They're discovering cures, building apps, and programming the blockchain. They're CEOs, worldwide hustlers who can make it rain. They're tearing down the old boys club and seeing big gains. Because when women in tech come together, you know they make that change.
My mom wanted my life to be better than what she had as a kid. When I became a mom myself, I feel like my whole world changed. You don't have to be a climate scientist to want to protect the earth. You always want the next generation to have something better than what you had.
Welcome back. Let me get your thoughts on this post. It says, no female wants to start over with a new guy, telling secrets, giving her body away, falling all over again. It's too much. Do you guys agree? Al, what do you think?
I don't know. I mean, what you the female, resident female, Claudia?
I'm the resident female, yes.
Yeah, is this true?
Yes and no. I mean, it depends where you're coming up out of. I mean, of course, when you have the comfort with being with the same person for a long time, like starting over, you have to like trust someone all over again. Can I tell you my secrets? Are you going to throw it out there when we fall off? Are you going to like violate my trust? And, oh, she told me her dad touched her, or, you know, or whatever. She went through bankruptcy or whatever. Like, who wants to go through that? But I'm real, my gut be so right. And when I speak on it early on, my friends be thinking I'm paranoid, but it's always right in the end. But if you come out of a space of like, you've been single for a little while, I think it can kind of be exciting, but it depends. Armand, what do you think about this from a guy's perspective? What do you think about this?
Yeah, I personally feel like, when we get into some of these topics go men and women, because it's the same for us too. Like, a lot of times you don't want to go and be into a whole nother relationship and what's your favorite color again and integrate them into your family. And they got to learn you. You got to go through the honeymoon phase. They got to learn that you poop in your sleep. You might have sleep apnea. You just never, there's a lot of different things. You can't eat dairy. You can't eat that. So it's a lot. But then too, on the flip side, though, I think a lot of people stay in toxic relationships because the fear of getting out and the comfortability of it all. Sometimes you're staying in a situation where you're miserable because you're afraid to get to know someone else. And sometimes it's time to get out, and you can probably have one of the best lives you've ever had.
I think it's exciting in the beginning, but unfortunately, sometimes that's not the real person you're meeting. It's a representative. Everyone's on their best behavior. But if you can trust your gut, or if you have a good discernment, I think it could be one of the most exciting and romantic times of the relationship. As long as you're not a bad picker, which I know I've been guilty about being a bad picker. I don't know if you guys feel like you have as well. Do you guys think you're good pickers? Allie, you a good picker?
Yeah, I think so.
Armand, you a good picker?
I think I'm a good pig. I think I'm a good picker. And I think I'm a good picker. No, here's the thing, guys. Just to be honest with you, you're never going to get 100%. So it just depends on what you want. And as you grow, you start to realize what you want. Things change. So what you might have wanted 10 years ago, you probably don't really care about that as much as this other need that person may not provide.
I'm a mixture of both. I think I've had some really great men in my life, but then I've also let some slip through the cracks. But I knew when in the beginning, you're like, oh, I don't like this, but you talk yourself out of it. Like, no, maybe I'm just overreacting. That voice ends up always being right later on, though. So we got to learn to trust our guts a little bit better than that. All right, y'all, good conversation, fellas. And in honor of Black Music Month, we are going to play the music group edition of Hit or Miss. All right, let's cue the music and let's get into this. First up, we have the Jackson 5 and the Temptations. You got to do hit or miss. You got to pick one's a hit, one's a miss. Al, what do you think?
Jackson 5s are a hit, and the Temptations in this case for me will be the miss, but they're not a miss.
Okay, Armand.
I don't think either is a miss, but I'm going to Temptations. My Girl Is Everything.
Is this their clothes or this them as a group? I don't know what we doing. I'm not.
The
really sure.
Temptations, baby. They just that Hollywood rock star energy.
They were more, of course, grown manish, and one of my friends is a son of one of those guys. All right, I'm gonna give Temptations it, but I like Temptations hit, and Michael Jackson and them, they're not the miss, but I'm saying Michael Jackson and them, so that's not good. All right, next we have Boys to Men, and oh my God, a New Edition. How can you pick? Hit or miss?
New Edition hit, Boys to Men miss, but neither one of them are miss.
Al, what do you
I'm gonna say Boys to Men definitely hit. New Edition are not a miss, but not a hit for me in this too.
Producers, y'all are so good at this and making it so hard. They're both off the. I feel like I can't diss either one. I'm not dissing them, but New Edition because they're from New England. Boys to Men close second. They're not a miss though by any stretch. All right, Blackstreet or Jagged Edge, hit or miss?
I really enjoyed Blackstreet. I'm gonna give Blackstreet a hit, and I'm gonna give Jagged Edge a miss.
Okay, Armand.
I'm going Jagged Edge as the hit, Blackstreet as a miss, but I like them both, and my dad would probably kill me if I said Blackstreet was a miss, but I'm just doing it because I have to.
I'm only giving Blackstreet the miss because Teddy Riley, that's my boy, but you supporting Trump a little too hard. And I did a music video with them, and one of them shoved his tongue in my mouth when he wasn't supposed to. It was supposed to be a peck. So I gotta give you a miss for that. All right, now we have Escape and SWV. Hit or miss?
Escape miss just because I can't stand Candy, but I like SWV.
Oh my God, Armand.
Yeah. I needed to pick one. They're both great talents, but if I had to pick one, get rid of Candy.
No, oh my God.
I'm gonna definitely give Escape a hit, and SWV, they're not a miss, but they would be a close second for me.
Candy, the views expressed by Armand Wiggins are not mine. We disagree on you. This is too hard. SWV, you're not a miss. All right, I'm gonna give, they're both hits. I'm sorry, I can't do it. We have Destiny's Child and En Vogue, hit or miss?
Definitely Destiny's Child as a hit for me, and En Vogue is not a miss, but a close second.
Yeah, okay. Destiny's Child the hit, but En Vogue is definitely not a miss. But Destiny's Child is definitely more my era. Go ahead.
En Vogue was so dope back in the day. Destiny's Child ain't really Destiny's, like they had too many personnel changes for me. So I'm gonna go be nostalgic with En Vogue. En Vogue, before they broke up. All right, what about TLC and Salt and Pepper, hit or miss?
I'm going TLC. You know, that's just my era. So TLC hit, Salt and Pepper. That's not a miss, but if I had to pick one, I would never listen to them. So TLC.
Okay, Al.
You know, the Salt and Pepper is my era. Those ladies held it down when women weren't allowed to do those types of things. So Salt and Pepper is a hit for me. TLC is not a miss, but definitely a second close.
Yeah, I agree with you, Al. TLC is not a miss for me, but Salt and Pepper is so shady, though. Like, they were so shady to Cinderella. I don't like how they did my girl Spin. You know what? I changed my mind. I have to give you a miss just because how shady. I think there was some jealousy. I think there was some hatred towards Spin because she was real cute. I don't believe y'all didn't want to split the group with her 3 ways. I think that's raggedy. I got to give Salt and Pepper the miss on this one just because you were mean. All right, next we have Jodeci and 112. This is really hard, y'all. The producers did their thing on this. Hit
112 for me. That peaches and cream. Okay. So yeah, give me 112, and then we're gonna go ahead and miss Jodeci.
Okay, Al.
I'm gonna definitely say Jodeci is a hit, but 112 is not a miss. They had a lot of good songs, but Jodeci would be my Jodeci.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you, Al. 112 is the second to me. Jodeci, that was my soundtrack through college, and it was like sexy and rough around the edges. And they started in the church, but then they had combat boots. You just know they having sex with combat boots on in bed, or the doctor. I don't know. It just gives me very like, yeah, what's up? What's good? Let me grab you.
Oh, wow.
No, I don't want to be with them, but I'm just saying the music. I got to clarify here. All right. Last but not least, the OJs. And Kool and the Gang. You know what? I like to know what you think.
This is above me. I'm just going to go with the OJs because my auntie liked them and my daddy liked them.
I'm going to say hit with the Kool and the Gang. OJ, they're not a miss, but Kool and the Gang's a hit for me.
I'm supposed to know. I don't really know the difference with the music. I'm sorry. My father probably plays around the house before he got divorced from my mom. I don't really remember. Let's just do Cool in the Gang because they seem cool in the gang. I don't know. I want to thank my co-hosts, Al Reynolds and Armand Wiggins, for joining me tonight. We had a fun Friday. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Please copy our drink recipes and try to emulate them at home, because I think the fellas have been really putting some really cool drinks together. Thanks for watching us on YouTube. Please rewatch the repeat tomorrow. Stay tuned for Street Flavor, and I really hope you have a great weekend. Y'all gonna have fun this weekend and turn up, maybe?
I'm going to have a blast at home.
Absolutely.
I need
Happy night,
good
soulmates.
We need good stories from Monday. I'll see y'all. Have a great weekend, fellas. Bye.
Bye.